Hey guys, welcome back to the broadcast. I hope you're enjoying it. My name is Josh Hasten, and it's truly an honor to be here. But before we go any further, you have to go to arifuldsdream.com and donate today. We got to get these numbers up. Where are you watching this broadcast from? Let us know. Send in your comments. Share the page. Go to arifuldsdream.com, donate now. We need to get that truck, guys, and there's so many other projects. You've been hearing from so many different people who knew Ari very, very well. All the amazing work he was doing over the years. You know, I remember exactly where I was when I heard the horrible news about Ari. I was in Jerusalem helping my parents build their sukkah. Sukkah, Jews for 7 days dwell in a temporary structure. Now, life is temporary, okay? We all know that, and unfortunately Ari and his life was cut short. But there's so many people who are, and that's why we're here, fulfilling what Ari was unable to do because of what happened to him, because of his murder. It's only temporary, guys. So act today, act now, donate, go to, I read whatever is written on the teleprompter, just like Ron Burgundy. arifuldsdream.com, that's where you need to go. I just wanted to share today a few clips, some of the interactions I had with Ari over the last couple of years. So the first clip was from Elazar, the Nativ Havot neighborhood. We'll roll the clip, we'll explain it a little bit. Let's go to that first video clip.
So once again, we are in the Gush Etzion area, beautiful area looking over the Judean hills here. You could actually see even the Dead Sea on a clear day from here. We are in the Yeshuv, the town of Elazar. And by the way, the Yeshuv is packed with IDF officers. It's known that IDF officers moved to the Yeshuv. And
hey guys,
it's like a little bit of a mixed Yeshuv, but the point is that there are 15 houses. 15 houses that are on menu of destruction by the government of Israel. On menu of destruction by the Israeli government, Bibi Netanyahu, Supreme Court, 15 houses, and based on claims of land. And again, I have to repeat this because the news is going to tell you that Jews here stole houses. There were no houses here. There were no houses here. Okay, when Elazar was built, this place was desolate land. Now, when they built 16 years ago, nobody came to court. I want to understand this. Nobody came to court 16 years ago. The first claim was 14 years after the house was built. And the claim was not that, oh, it belongs to this Arab. Peace Now, a radical left-wing organization, came to the Supreme Court, not with an Arab, but based on zoning problems. On zoning problems. Now, just you should understand that it's not like, they built without permission. That's the way things are built in Israel, and they give them afterwards permission, you know, their final status. But the point is that Peace Now, 14 years after the house was built, the first claim was made based on a zoning problem, and they were working on the process of getting the house, in order to get the permission where they live, and then Peace Now, in their evil, in their real Zdom-like behavior, brought Arabs in who claimed it's their land, right? Now, instead of the courts doing what most courts do in democratic societies and say, hey, okay, you claim it's your land, please give us a deed, a proof of ownership, something. No, the Supreme Court doesn't do that. The Supreme Court says, we're accepting your claim, even though you have no proof of ownership, and we ordered to destroy the home because of the zoning issue. So they're playing both sides of this the equation now. And what's going on, man? Right. Josh Hasten, for those you know Josh, I think you know a little bit more about this situation than I do. Josh Hasten, by the way, if you're not following, it's Josh Hasten.
Yeah, on Facebook, Joshua Hasten on Facebook, Joshua Hasten, that's the best way. At Josh Hasten on Twitter.
Okay, Josh, look, I mean, I live down the block from you here. I'm trying to explain to people what is the rationale here. In other words, I went into this house, the Arab claim is on 1 meter.
Right.
Besides that, they have this, they didn't get permission to build, which is the way Israel builds all the time. What is the Supreme Court side of this? What are they saying? Like, what's the... I know that... trying to explain to them. Besides just saying they're evil, what are they claiming?
I can't speak for the Supreme Court, but I can tell you what's really going on here. I mean, this is the Supreme Court siding on the side of the extremists. In other words, this whole situation, as sad as it might sound and as sad as it is, this wasn't initiated by the Arabs. This was initiated by so-called Jewish groups, Peace Now, Yesh Din, and the others, who at times go out and find Arabs and say, hey, you know what? We've discovered a 2-meter area here, 1-meter area there, who might be illegal. And let's go to the Supreme Court, see what we can do. Let's see what we can get out of this. No Arab has proven his ownership of any of this area, number one. Number two, no Arab will ever work this area. If some Arab worked this area 100 years ago in that 1 meter that we're talking about, we're talking about in the middle of El Azhar here. And the same situation goes for Bet El, the Old Pana neighborhood, which was destroyed. No Arab will ever access that land. In other words, it's not about justice. Unfortunately, it is about baseless hatred. It's sad, but that's the reality. It's baseless hatred from groups like Peace Now, who, because of their extremist ideology, would rather see 15 houses come down here, okay, than find a just solution for that Arab. In other words, they're not acting, Ari, for that Arab. He's not going to gain from this. No Arab will gain from what's happening here today. It is baseless hatred. We saw it in Gush Katif. After Gush Katif, you had those who were so happy and proud of what happened there. Admit it had nothing to do with removing the Jews from, rather helping the Arabs from in Gaza. This had to do with sending a message to the so-called right wing, to the so-called settlers, to whatever political party that they're against in Israel, but it's happening over and over again. So today you're seeing yet another demolition, unnecessarily, of 15 homes where 1 meter is questionable. I won't even say that meter is private property. I would say it's questionable property because of that 1 meter.
Which is no proof of ownership.
It's not right. The court decided, forget that 1 meter. We're going to take
that specific clip to show you how Ari always stood up for the truth. He had other things to do on that Tuesday morning in the Tiva Avot in El Azhar, but he decided to come out and share that information, to share what was going on with those 15 families and the fact that 15 homes were being destroyed in Gush Etzion, in his neighborhood in Israel. He would not let that go without getting the truth out there. And that's why I picked that clip. And before we go to the next clip, just want to say thank you. Devorah Kalker, thank you so much for your generosity. Sarah Gutman, thanks so much for donating. Go to arifuldsdream.com and keep those donations rolling in right now. Show me the money, guys. Show me the money. All for an amazing cause, all to fulfill the legacy of Ari Fuld. And let's go to the next clip, please.
Hey everyone, Ari Fuld. I'm back here on the border of Gaza by the kindergarten that was hit. I went to the back of the kindergarten to get a closer look of the damage that was here. Again, we're talking about from 6:59 until 7:35 approximately. Over 50 mortars were shot at the areas of the Jewish towns and the schools. I'm in front right now of a kindergarten. That's right, you can see the kindergarten has fortified walls here. And on the walls, you can actually see the marks from the shrapnel from the mortar that was fired here. The back pole that's right there is a hole from a huge piece of shrapnel that blew through that hole, blew through the pole over there. And remember, this was right before school was starting. Kids, according to the news, were actually on their way to schools. Of course, some parents were driving their kids in. Others were walking in by foot. Thank God they were not in this area when these mortars flew. You could see the effect. Half this tree is completely shaved down. You could see the wall of the school is scarred with the shrapnel marks over there. The pole over there is a hole that's blown right through the pole. Right there, you can see it. And in my hand, and I want to say thank you to some guys who are here covering the story. I have the pieces of shrapnel. I want you to look. These are pieces of shrapnel from the mortar fire here on an Israeli kindergarten. We are talking about mortar fire that was meant to murder and kill kids in this kindergarten. Thank God, literally by miracle, and of course by time-wise also, that no kids were here, because if kids were here, this would have been a horrific tragedy and a real mess for Israel.
The reason I picked that clip is to show you when the rockets were falling, when it got really dangerous and people were running for the shelters, Ari did not run away from what was going on down there. Ari ran to Sderot in order to be able to share the reality of the situation down there. And I know from watching the videos of him down in Sderot, he himself had to run for cover more than one time when the rockets were falling 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 50 rockets a day, Ari decided to go down there, and you saw him share the information to get the word out to the international community about the rockets and how they were trying to murder children. The terrorists from Gaza are trying to murder Israeli children, and Ari shared that. I want to go back here to the phone right now. Thank you so much. Yael Monhan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, David Zavakovsky, Ari Harrow, Shal Benjamin, Shimshon Seligson, Avi Oayon, thank you so much for donating. AriFuldsDream.com. We'll go right ahead and roll the next clip.
I want to again thank Regavim, the organization Regavim, not only for taking care of things and fighting this chaos, but for allowing me to join them up in this flight to see it from the sky. I want to thank Josh Hasten for inviting me. I want to thank Steve Levitt and the Regavim organization. If you're not following them, follow them on Facebook, Regavim. They're taking care of this chaos, putting order to this chaos. This has to stop. Everything you see here is illegal. Squatters took over land. They're tapping into Israel's water source illegally, stealing water, there's nothing here that's legal. Now you have to understand that Israel is not looking to kick these people out, but rather to turn this into a legal issue. They're building them humongous villages with villas, castles. This is not about politics. It's just about rule of... Again, everything you see, illegally built. Squatters taking over land, and again, tapping into Israel's resources. Absolutely no legalities here.
So that was 2 summers ago, and you can see I had the honor of getting Ari up in a small airplane, just a 4-seater, over the Negev desert to see all the illegal building, unfortunately, going on down there, being carried out by the Bedouin community down there. And it was really just an unbelievable experience for myself to spend a full day. Ari was down there. Steve Levitt was also down with us to be able to share that truth. It wasn't just about Judea and Samaria. Really, Ari had passion for the well-being and the welfare of the entire country. And I think that video there illustrates that. We had an amazing time together. I actually was afraid to go up in the plane. I didn't go up with them, but Ari was filming live. I wasn't afraid of the flight. I'm just a little claustrophobic, so I didn't go up in the plane with them. But since I have been up there, by the way, but Ari was sharing those videos live on Facebook from the airplane. I remember that very well with Ari and Steve. We had a great time, and it was for a great cause, really getting the truth out about what was going on down in the Negev desert. Keep the donations coming in. I hope to get an update here any second now from Esri Tubi about the latest donations coming in. AriFuldsDream.com, that's where it's all happening. We're going to go ahead and roll. This is a great clip, guys. This thing went viral on social media. Check out this 1-minute clip of Ari sharing some truth.
You should just ask the UN.
No, I'm asking you. When did Israel occupy Palestine?
When did they occupy Palestine?
Yes.
No, this.
When did it happen? Tell me when it happened.
It's been happening.
Since when?
Well, are you talking about the Balfour
Give
Declaration?
me the year when Israel occupied Palestine.
It's not an exact year. This
Oh,
is
it's not an exact year.
Well, if you can be specific and say when it is been divided, which is 1946.
No, not true. 1948, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. Your mistakes in history are okay. Consider you're standing here and you're standing with a guy who's lying. It's 1948, number one. Before 1948, it wasn't Palestine Arab. It was a British. It was a British man.
Yeah.
So when did Israel occupy Palestine from the Arabs? When did Israel occupy Palestine from the Arabs? Give me a year.
Yeah, the Balfour Declaration first.
It's 1917. And the British were in charge.
Yeah.
When did Israel occupy? When was there an Arab place called Palestine? Tell me.
Now.
When did it happen originally? Tell me.
Right.
When did it happen?
Know when it happened.
So there you have, I don't know, is that Stuttering John over there? This woman obviously has no idea what she's talking about, and Ari completely exposes her there in Hebron, unable to tell us when or where there ever existed a country called Palestine. Since that is not the case, there's never been a state of Palestine in the history of the world. She was unable to do so. Ari getting right in her face and exposing her for the fraud that she was, and there are many, many videos in the archives of Ari doing that time and time again to many of the anti-Israel haters out there, getting the truth about Israel out there and exposing those frauds. Let's go back to the phone. Nechama Levine, thank you for your donation. Amy Sharfman, thank you so much. Sina Koren, thank you so much. If I'm mispronouncing any of these names, please forgive me. Keep those donations coming in. I want to have this slot here of the entire telethon to have the most donations. It'll make Esri Tubi very jealous if I can do that. I want to get the most donations here. So show me the money, folks. AriFuldsDream.com. Keep it all coming. We're going to get that truck, and it's going to deliver to soldiers all over the country and many other projects, not just the truck, many other projects in Ari and Yehoshua's memory, what we're working on here today during this telethon. And I got time for just one more video. I saved the best, I guess, you know, for last. This one definitely was the most personal of myself sitting with Ari literally 2 months before he was murdered right outside the walls of the old city. So we'll go ahead and roll that clip. You want to hear the full interview, how Ari got in his car and drove down there with baked goods and other things to give to the residents and really to show his support and the support of the people not in the South for all those living under fire. Ari, anything to add to that?
Listen, people, there's only one message we got to add. Remember, terrorism goal is to instill fear. They will lose, and they will lose because Josh and I are sitting right in front of the walls of Jerusalem having coffee. They will lose because the people in Sderot in the South and all the kibbutzim are out there living their lives. They will lose because we are so thirsty for life, while they are so thirsty for death. They will lose. We you know, the Assyrians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Nazis, they're all gone. We are here. We are living. We are thirsty for life, and that's why Israel will continue to blossom and to continue to be strong. It's amazing. We're living in miraculous times. We really are.
Absolutely are.
So it's difficult, really emotional for me to watch that video, again, shot just 2 months before Ari was murdered. But the message of that small 45-second clip really epitomizes who Ari was and what he believed in. You heard him say it. We are thirsty here in Israel. We are thirsty for life while they preach hate, and they are thirsty for death. That really just tells the entire story of why Ari did what he did. And I had a full radio interview with Ari. That was just a small clip to introduce the radio show, so we had a full conversation. And again, I'm sorry I'm getting a little bit emotional just watching that here. Let's see if more donations came in. But let's see, Esri Tubi behind the scenes sending in the donations. And you go to arifuldsdream.com. And I really want to thank, before we go further, thank everyone behind the scenes here, Gedalia and Avi Abelo and Esri Tubi and Steve Levitt and the Fuld family. If you missed any part of this telethon, you have to go back and hear from the Fuld family who just came on just before. But to those all out there who are, whether you're in Israel or whether you're on the other side of the world and you want to make a difference, this is the cause. This is the way to do it. We are here just 2 days before Rosh Hashanah, also just several days before the actual Yortzeit, the first Yortzeit, when Ari was murdered. So now is the time, as we approach the high holidays, now is the time to make a true difference by giving tzedakah in Ari's memory, in Yehoshua's memory. So arifuldsdream.com, or you can contact any of us through social media, and we can point you in the right directions to get you involved in all the amazing projects, whether it's the truck, whether it's any of the other, call them hasbara, I don't really like that word so much, public diplomacy projects that Ari was involved with that are now being undertaken by other people, obviously not on that level. Ari was irreplaceable, guys. There's nobody who can replace Ari. And I've had this conversation many times with my peers here in the world of public diplomacy or what have you. But everyone is trying to do their part in order to make a difference and really get the message out there, sharing the truth about Israel, sharing the truth about the Jewish people, inspiring people as much as possible to come home to the land of Israel, to make Aliyah. We haven't even touched on Aliyah and how people I can't tell you how many people made Aliyah as a result of Ari and his passion, and how he was able to transmit and share that passion, and encourage people to make Aliyah. There are people like that that I've met. There are IDF soldiers, one guy in particular who showed up in my community of El-Azhar, and he said, you know why I'm in the army? I'm in the army now thanks to Ari Fuld, Hashem Yikam Damo, because Ari inspired me to join the army. And there are many, many stories like that, many more that I'm sure you're going to hear about during the rest of this telecast from all the other videos from my colleagues, from my peers here, talking about everything that Ari did to touch their lives and make a difference for them. So one last time, I'm going to give you the information, arifuldsdream.com. That is the homepage for all the activities. It encompasses everything. Go there and really make a donation to today. We're happy to recognize you here during the rest of the course of the telethon. My time is up. It is Thursday night in Jerusalem. This would have been a night where Ari, may he rest in peace, would have gone out and talked to the youngsters in the city of Jerusalem, the yeshiva guys, and inspired them as we head towards as they were heading towards Shabbat, and as we today head towards Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah and the high holidays here in Israel. And as I said, when I found out the horrible news, it was getting ready for Sukkot. Life, ladies and gentlemen, one of the lessons of Sukkot is the fact that life is temporary. We are here on in this world temporarily. It is what we do with our time here in this world that makes the difference. Ari utilized each and every moment to make a difference. You can too. You can be inspired by him while he is not here physically. We know that he is here with us, watching over us from above. So again, I'm Josh Hasten, and I'm signing out. Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova to everybody, and then we'll go to the next clip here in the telecast here. Thanks so much for joining us.